All right, hey there, good morning, everybody. Christopher Inks with Texas West Capital. It's about a few minutes after 11 a.m. Central Standard Time here on Wednesday. No, it's Tuesday, right? Lord have mercy, what day of the week is it? Let me check here real quick. It's the 15th of September. I see that much. Let me see here. There we go. Tuesday, September 15th, 2020 in San Antonio, Texas. Hopefully you are having a better time remembering what day of the week it is than I am at the moment. So hey there, Marathon Charts, what's going on? Good to see you. Alfredo's here, Sean's here. Alonzo, what's up? Fiat Twat is here. Fiat Watts. Fiat Watts. Fiat Watts. I can't even say it. Fiat, we'll just call you Fiat. How about that? Hey there, Jason, what's going on? James Daly is here. Allergies on and off, man. You know, the weather's kind of been funky around here lately. We had some rain recently. Kind of stirred some things up, so dealing with it. Hey there, Satoshi Ray. Good to see you. Train Crypto, how are you doing? Doug, what's going on, buddy? Happy Tuesday to you as well. Hey, guys, listen. If you haven't done it yet, you're running on the last day or two here that you'll be able to get in on our Tier 2 or Tier 1 levels. So, you know, if what we're going to do, again, as I explained this the other day, we've had a lot of new people recently, and I want to make sure that we continue to provide the best service possible for the people that we have, rather than just trying to get everybody we possibly can in there. So what we're going to do is tomorrow or Thursday, I'm not sure yet when yet, one of those days, we're going to cut off membership for our Tier 1 and Tier 2 levels. And then you'll still be able to get in, but you'll have to get into the Tier 3 level, which I'm going to tell you right now, guys, if nobody's told you yet, absolutely the best thing you can do with $100. I'm telling you guys, if you're serious about trading, the level and depth of education we provide, what you have access to from the minute that you join, guys, nothing you have to wait for. But for the minute you join, as well as the weekly Tier 3 live educational stuff, you can talk. I probably got some guys looking in right now. They'll probably tell you how great that is. Finding lots of opportunities, giving you all the tips and tricks and techniques that, you know, as professional traders, we use to find entries and exits and stop losses, where even if you're a brand new trader, you can actually get in without any prior knowledge of the markets, guys. These are simple techniques that says, you know what, if it does this, then you do this. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to concern yourself with it. So while you're learning with the rest of the educational stuff, how to actually, you know, how do the markets work, to untrain your brain from the way that you think things work to how they actually work. And you start zooming out from a 5-minute picture, you know, thinking that you understand what the market's doing on the 5-minute chart, to zooming out to more of that daily and weekly and, you know, larger cycles frame of reference, and start really understanding what's going on, because that'll affect you a whole lot more positively on your shorter term trades as well. But you get all that. You get, of course, all that, you know, we always preach risk management. Still do that. I'm in the process of re-recording all the videos that we've had in there. We recorded them a couple of years ago. And not a lot has changed, but the way in which I deliver what we talk about, I think, has become much clearer and much better even than what it was back then. So as always, trying to make things easier for y'all. Plus, there's some new things we can add in there that we're going to be adding in. We've got about, God, I don't know. If you join Tier 3 right now, between the normal video education we have and then the Tier 3 stuff, because you'll get access to all the last 2 months of Tier 3, because that's when we started doing this weekly trading thing. You get access to all that as well. And I think altogether, that's getting close to 25 or 30 hours of educational content in that alone. And then not to mention at Tier 3, you have 19 or 20 assets that are updated daily and intraday. You know, you've got your hot takes on Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday evenings, which give you stock, crypto, and Forex setups. You have the amazing people that we have. Oh my gosh. You get the DeFi channel, which is a Tier 3 channel. That's where Scott Melker discusses many of his trades before he ever puts it out in his newsletter or online and whatever. as well as his alt trades that he discusses in the VIP alt trades channel. But believe it or not, guys, it's not just about Scott in those channels. We have some great traders in there like Crypto Slider, who is always on top of trades and whatnot going on there as well in the alt setups or the VIP alt channel there. So anyway, lots and lots of stuff, guys. I mean, I sit here and I tell you, and you're probably like, yeah, whatever. Let me do this. Real quick before we do anything here, guys. Yeah, we'll go ahead and pull in so you can see what we're looking at here. This, guys, is our channels here. As you see them going through. If you're tier 3, you see pretty much all of these. I mean, some of these you don't see, like member management stuff that's admin specific. But again, our daily and intraday updates are all these right here. And we've got more coming, by the way, for these for tier 3. We've got more coming. You've got your hot takes all in here. We've got the members channels where you can discuss everything from the hot takes to there's the VIP alts channel I was talking about. We've got a macroeconomics finance channel that all levels of membership get access to. And there's a lot of higher level macro discussion and I guess pretty much educational stuff in there as well, because I try to link information and discuss things from a more macro-oriented position in there. So we've got that. Again, you've got direct links to the educational videos. You've got your tier 3 weekly educational stuff. By the way, guys, if you ever go on these channels, you can go up here to the top where it says pin messages, and you'll find all the important stuff that we remember to pin is pinned up there. When it comes to the tier 3 weekly educational channel, all the previous links and their passwords and whatever for all the previous tier 3 weekly stuff is all up there under the pin message. So you can just click on the tier 3 channel, go up to the pin message, and you got it in there. But anyway, as I said, lots of channels going on here, lots of discussion and whatnot. These are just the ones I haven't been able to get to this morning. There was there's always discussion going in pretty much every one of these here. And then of course community channels down here. So again, guys, we'd love to have you here. It's a ton of, it's just so much stuff here. Again, guys, I think for some people it's a bit too much at first. They're a bit overwhelmed, especially if they're newer either to Discord and or trading in general. But that's the whole idea of what we do with Discord. It's an immersion aspect. The idea is we drop you in it. You log into Discord there, and all around you is all this TA stuff going on and all this speaking. You don't understand a lot of it at first. But that's just like when you first get, when you first get dropped into a new country, and you're trying to learn the customs and the language and everything else there. You're just stuck in there first. But it's the best way to learn. So, this takes you beyond just looking at the videos, listening to the videos, and looking at the setups. It actually has people discussing them, myself, Scott, other members, discussing how they're using all these things to find their entries and their exits and to analyze what's going on. So you get to see it working in real time. That's what we do here, guys. I'll tell you what, if you know of somebody that provides more content, and at a better price than what we do, man, please let me know, because I don't believe there's anybody out there that does it. So we'd love to have you there, guys. Join in. So like I said, tomorrow or Thursday, we're going to cut off all tier 2 and tier 3 new members. Now, if you're tier 1 and tier 2. If you're already a member, you can, switch between those. That's not a problem. If you come in as a tier 3 later, we'll eventually open it up to where you can downgrade if you want to a tier 2 or a tier 1. But for right now, we're trying to put the emphasis where we're really putting all our significant effort up there at that tier 3. So jump on it while you can, guys. I mean, even if you just do it for a month, there's God, I can't explain to you just how much information is in there, but it's a lot. If you're wondering real quick here, let me see here. Before we go on, I always forget to do this. Sometimes people ask it and I forget to show this. Let me see if I can find it here real quick. Let me see here. Yeah, so let me pull you all back over there to Discord real quick. If you're wondering what kind of the first bit of information, the educational stuff we have is, these are all the direct links in here. as it goes. You can't actually link into all this. Good luck trying to type it into your browser and click in, unless you're a paying member of a Tier 2 or Tier 3. It won't allow you. It locks you out. But these are all the direct links here telling you all the different topics that we discuss, and we go over there. And again, from all the basics up there to things like Wyckoff, to things like Elliott Wave, and of course, like I said, I'm re-recording all these videos again for everybody. So that way they've got the most up-to-date information, and hopefully maybe even a better way of understanding it. Everybody tells me that I've always done well kind of explaining what's going on with everything to them and how to do it, but hopefully it's even better now that I've been doing this for, 3 years now. So we'd absolutely love to have you there. Everybody will welcome you in just like a family, I promise you. Let me see here. Who else is here? Anybody else showing up so far? French Bull, what's up, buddy? French Bull, you'll find him just hanging out all day, every day in the Bitcoin channel there. Lots of great information coming from him. Hey there, GT. Good to see you. Says gold is looking interesting, but less bullish than a few hours ago. Yeah, gold's. We'll take a look at that today. Gold's got that possible triangle going on we've talked about before. But again, not sure it's going to play out. It may just look like it. So, it's definitely an alternate count that we're watching as well with it there, at least until it drops down, below the wavy swing. So we'll talk about that here in a bit. Hey there, Spiral Architect. Good to see you. Jordan's here. Block Tech Management checking in. What's up, Nevlusian? Nevlusian also, of course, over in there as well in Discord. Hank, what's up? 4Gene Fakes. Oh, that's Julio. What's going on, Julio? Actually have time to watch today. Let me see here. Who else is here? Lavo is here as well. He's also over there speaking out in the channels. Let me see here. Daniel from Argentina. Good to see you. Glad to see you checking in. Phoenix checking in. Phoenix, one of our newest members. Loving the interaction with them as well. You have gold in the triangle yourself there, GT? Yeah. It's hard to miss. But again, we'll kind of see what it looks like here in a bit. DXY popping off this morning. Kind of setting some of those assets into a bit of a pullback, further continuation down. So we'll see how that happens to figure that out. We'll look at that there. Perrin, what's going on? Andrew's here as well, checking in from St. Augustine, Florida. I used to live in Jacksonville. I know exactly where St. Augustine is. Right down the road there. That's what do they say? That's the oldest city. Is that the oldest city in America? St. Augustine? Is that what it is? Or is it the oldest city in Florida? I can't remember. One of those. Alexander, what's going on, man? Everything's going great over here. Let's go ahead and jump in here, guys, and see where we're looking at with Bitcoin. Whoa, look at that. Dropped off since just a minute ago. Spiral Architect saying, yep, agreeing with me there. It says, used to live in Jacksonville, too? Seven Bridges. Very cool, very cool. Y'all know who else gained prominence over there in Jacksonville, right? Southern Rock Band, man. From back, in the 70s and whatnot. I'll let y'all figure it out. It's good music, good music. It was good music back then. It's probably even better music today. I'm not a big fan of a lot of the new stuff that comes out today. Danny OJ, got it. Yes. Leonard Skinner, that's right. Hank says if gold is in a triangle, it could be a wave 4 and ABC, so the B wave of an ABC or the X wave of a WXY. Exactly. Could be. Depending on where you count that triangle from. Let me see here. Allman Brothers too. That's right. Andrew coming in with the Skinner as well. I love it, guys. I love that you know what I'm talking about. All right. So where are we at? So if we're looking at this, let me zoom out here and then we'll kind of zoom in. So we've been watching this kind of advance and discussing it in Discord as it has. It's hit our levels as we've been looking at our targets as it's moved up. Last night, let me take some of this and send it to a different time frame here real quick. Get it off this, the visibility off this time frame right here. Oh, doggone it. Let me see. I can keep that one there. Trying to get this other one in here. Yeah, let's see that one right there. Let's see if we can get that one set off. Nope, wrong one. God, dog it. I cannot get that little bit of this nonsense right here. There we go. I think we got it now. Yeah, there we go. Now we can actually start seeing some stuff here. And then I'll get rid of this right here, and we'll talk about this in a minute. Maybe a little local head and shoulders. God, man, I hate those things. But they've been showing up everywhere, which is, you guys know as much as I hate them, the fact that I'm talking about them must mean that something's going on there. So here we are. Let me see here. We have, now there's a couple of different ways to read this, guys. I've got my wave, this being a wave 4 possible count here that I've discussed, which, that would have this potentially around the 50% retracement. I've got this possible 5 count here on this here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, and then a flat for a A, B, and then a C here is a flat. Now, if this is a wave 2, it's a short wave 2. It's just above the 38.2 of the retracement here. But the fact that it's a flat, you give it some leeway there. That would be a reason why it wouldn't be potentially so far off. So we'll see. But you can notice here on the 1 hour, we've got this large bearish divergence here, also seen on the 15-minute. If we look at this and kind of zoom in here, you got to bounce off the pivot here. So that gives you like a 1, 2, and then you get a 3, 4, and then you get a 5, and that's right above the R1. Now, last night I pulled I said this is possibly a 3 and a 4 with a 5 still to come. It hit my wave 4 target almost exactly, bounced up there, and it's hit wave 5 now just above this. If I zoom in here a bit, maybe you can see it. This 15-minute R1 pivot right here. And so, we moved in sideways between the pivot and the R1. We hit the R1. We're being rejected now. So now what you want to see, is this done here? It's possible. What you want to see is a drop down below this wave 4 swing low here at 10,606 and 48 cents to kind of confirm that this is done here. If it doesn't do that, if it continues up through here, I'm going to look up here toward this yellow box. We got a big range there of about 11,160 to 11,300. Not really feeling that upside at the moment. We're stopping right here, below the R2 pivot on the 1 hour and 4 hour here. So I could see this potentially reversing from here. If we zoom into the 15-minute though, here's the thing. If we go in here to this, what we're looking at. Again, this coming off ABC here for a 4. That gives you a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not only is that 5 there, but, it follows the rules that we're looking for. And so, again, if this is 2 and this is 3, we pull this over here, we're looking for the 61.8 at least for wave 5. And so it went just above that here to the 70.5 extension. And then reversed off that pretty well. Large volume coming in on the reversal here. Comparatively locally here. I did our BMA morning video update this morning. Let me go ahead and close this out here for a minute. And I talked to them and I mentioned, listen, there's a spike of volume here at the bottom. I said, but don't get excited that this is just telling us there's a reversal coming off there. I said, because what you notice here is you've got this large candle and the candle spread ends almost at the lows of that candle. So yeah, you get this little bit of a bounce up here, but then I think it falls forward. And so that's what it's done here. Now, within this morning, I said, it's possible maybe you can get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then that would be a 2 heading up. I said, but not likely. I said, well, what may be more likely is that we're getting a 1, 2, 1, 2. And that's what looks like maybe playing out now at the moment here. Stoke RSI playing down around and oversold here, not bottomed out at the moment. RSI has room to continue to fall. We've got the spike of volume here, pops up, comes back down. Another spike of volume as it's coming down here. So, supply is trying to push down. Now, if we look at this, we've got basically a left shoulder, head, right shoulder here. We've attempted to push through it, but been rejected. Again, I'm not a big fan of head and shoulders, but if you are and you want to watch it play out, if it is, then you should have a target down here, a pattern target of about 10,637.95 here. based on the height of the head and shoulders here on the breakdown through the neckline. Now, when I look at these, usually target patterns are wave threes. So if I look at this, I'm looking at probably a 1, 2, and then a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 maybe. And that would get us then a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, if we look at that, how far is that wave 3 then? I didn't actually look at this in the morning update. Let me see here. See, it gets you the 1618 there. So it would be, if we can get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down here, that'll just be a 1, 2, 3. And then so 3 means you'd be having a 5 probably down here around 10, 5, 90 or so. But if we're that close to the pivot, I wouldn't be surprised to see it actually hit the pivot. Or, here's the thing. If you cannot get a reversal around these swing lows here, if they don't give that reversal for a potential wave 2 off that, it's likely we can see an overextended wave 5 as it just kind of drops on down toward at least 10,457, but potentially down here around this 10,340 to 10,365 kind of area, because there's nothing really here. I mean, there's something way over here, but recently it was just a sharp pop up. So usually it's just a sharp drop back down. Kind of the same idea we more or less see right here. You get the sharp move up, so sharp move down, bounce, sharp move down, little bounce, kind of making its way down there. So, if I'm looking at that, that's what I'm looking at. We've got a couple of different possible support levels here. You've got this one, which we're kind of dropping through. So if it continues on through that, that would be. But then I'm really kind of looking at this one right here. Because if we come through that then gets you down here to the pivot. It gets you this HVN. And guys, I'm going to tell you what, if you're dropping back down, if you've gone up here and you're dropping down below this HVN, you're likely headed lower. It makes, see how we're sitting here? Let me kind of go like this here. So again, if you're dropping below this is demand support right now. So if you get below that, this becomes supply. And so you start getting a lot more supply pressure below it. So again, getting below this level brings up the swing lows down here as the target, which I think you should end up taking out and heading down lower. The question only becomes, if that happens, is this a 1, 2, 3, 4 here, and then a 5, or is this a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? So it gets you a 1 and a 2, and then you got a 3 coming down, or an A and a B and a C coming down. Either way, you're looking for lower lows. If this is more a 4 than a 2, then you're still looking at that likely, I could say at least 9,500 here, kind of fills in that lower CME gap. But you're potentially looking as low as 9,100, 9,000, somewhere right around there. Just based on it there, as it goes. But, it has to do it. It has to do it. It has to continue on. Now, as far as the 4-hour goes here, if you're into TD sequential, you had a TD9 at resistance here on the previous 2 candles ago. And then the next candle was this large upper legged doji here. And now we've got this doji, but we still got 3.5 hours left of a 4-hour candle. So I would watch to see how this candle plays out. If you get a large spread candle here on the 4-hour, I think it takes out the lows and it continues on down here toward minimally 10,250, 10,260 kind of area. Comes on down there, I think. If it does a doji at the end of 4 hours, well, you got to keep watching. You need to get that confirmation one way or the other. So lots of different ways to kind of look at this. The 4-hour, of course, just about topped out up here in Stoke RSI. Let me see here on RSI, stopped just below, overbought there. But yeah, you can see here on the 4-hour, look at the difference. I continue to point out, what's going on with the volume and price action. And so if you look at these last 2 candles here, you can see more volume in the second, significantly more volume here in the second candle than in the first. First candle had a demand spread here, decently demand kind of in control, but supply showing up. This one is purely supply coming in control here, reversing it. And it's, so you're getting, for bulls, you're getting more effort and it's significantly less result. No longer are you even, creating a demand spread here. You've reversed, and you're creating that supply spread now on the candle spread on that higher volume there. So, I mean, this looks toppy to me at the moment if we're looking at that. But you still need to get that, that decline down there. And so from the 4-hour chart, you want to see a decline here below the swing low here at 10,606 and 48 cents. If you can get that, that opens up this move down here, to 10,256 probably. Maybe find some support right here for a little bounce or something around 10,335. But looking to get down here toward this 10,256. And, if you're losing that, you should minimally, everything else aside, forget your counts and your biases and all that. If you're pushing up here through the R1, almost the R2, and you come back down through the pivot, there's no reason you shouldn't be looking minimally at the S1. Likely at the S2. By the time you're hitting S3, now it's looking more like a trend rather than a reversal. If you're hitting the R1, R2, or S1, S2, and then going the other way, that's a good reversal area. But if you're getting beyond that to the 3, then it starts becoming much more of a likely a continuation of that trend. Simple things you can do, guys, with pivots just to kind of get a better general understanding of what may be happening with price at that time. Let me catch up with you guys here. Let me see. Mads, what's going on? Good to see you here, Crypto Girl, as well. And I'm Crypto Girl here as well. They are two different people. I believe they are here. Sometimes people get similar names, in Discord. Sometimes they get the exact same names, and that's a real pain in the rear end to figure out. Oh, man. By the way, guys, just a quick friendly reminder, if you're in Discord on the paid or the free side, don't ever, I myself, nor anybody that works for TWC will ever contact you in DMs and say, hey, here's a special. You can jump on this right now. I don't work that way. If we do specials, it's for everybody usually at that tier or everybody in the whole, everybody that's with us kind of thing. So, just keep that in mind, guys. Don't give your money to people coming across like that. If it sounds too good to be true, and you can't verify that it's me, then it's likely not me. Oh, by the way, guys, speaking of that, let me see here. Quick, easy way to tell. Let me pull you back into Discord real quick. And this will work not just with my Discord, but with anybody's Discord, all right? Here's a quick way to tell if if somebody's trying to scam you, if they're a scammer or not. Let's see here. So what you do is you go to the profile picture, right? And you right-click it and go to where it says profile. Because I guess there's a way apparently that certain levels of that have purchased Discord extras or whatever from Discord can actually change their number here. But that isn't what you have to worry about, because they come in, like when they impersonate me, they come with my picture and they try to do this same thing here. But what you're going to look for is this right here. They will not have these links right here like this, okay? You have to give access via apps for that connection between Discord and, in this case, your Twitch account or your Twitter account. So, if you're ever in doubt, just kind of right-click on it, go to profile, pull up my profile here, and see if these two links are here at least. I'm going to add more as I can as it brings them in there. But right now, these are the two links that are there. If they're an imposter, if they're a fake account, they will not have this. So if you're on some other server with somebody and they're having issues with imposters, have them, even if they just create the account, just to link it to this so that way you can know it's them. Have them do that. It's a good way to keep you from getting, hopefully to keep your people from, sending money to people who are just, scamming them. We work really hard to help you guys, make money and save yourself from losing money you don't have to lose. Last thing I want you to do is getting, roped into some nonsense like that. So, yeah, just be careful with that, guys. Let me see here. Hey there, Dana. Good to see you checking in. Silvio is here as well. Oh, let me see here. Prep is here. Good to see you. Cornholio, what's up, man? Any trial or giveaways for non-members? Well, we always have our trial, access in there, guys. If you join our Discord server, you can go right to, you can actually join it. I think we've actually got it on the How to Trade to Win page here. Let me see. If you just kind of click on this Discord here and join us from that, right here, probably the easiest way to do it. You can also go down here. We've got all these links right here. And you can hit the, I thought I had a Discord link in there, didn't I? Oh, I guess not. I thought I did. But anyway, what you'll do is just kind of click on, that's Twitch there. Man, okay. So you can just come here and click on this, and it'll bring you in, it'll help you log into our server, the free side. Or you can click on this link right here and do it. And then it'll bring you right in there. And when you go in there, there's a welcome page with some things on it. And you'll just head to the trial information area. By the way, guys, when you first log in, you see that. Make sure you go through all the rules and all this stuff so you know what is and isn't allowed and how things are kind of put together and stuff in there. But there is a link there. One of the channels is for trial memberships, and we've got a bot that you can do that with. That won't give you access to all of Tier 2 or all of Tier 3 or whatever. Again, unfortunately for us, what we found out when we try to give people free access to things that include setups and education is that they take it and they run with it and then they demand their money back. They're basically, you're scamming us. You had no intention of doing it. You just get in there just to get all the information and then say, oh, I want a refund. We don't do that. It's sad that people have to be that way, guys, but it is what it is. We don't hate anybody, but it just keeps us from being able to offer everything that's, like a full Tier 3 type membership or something, trial membership. But there is a 7-day membership that gives you a lot of the different channels that are in there, so you can see that the discussion's going on and you can join in with it, and you can get the the information with that and everything. So, but yeah. That's why we don't do the full, the full on, even a 24-hour free membership or something with Tier 3, because unfortunately that's been our experience in the past. So it's just sad people got to be that way, but you do what you can do, right? Let me see here. Lavo, I'm working on some more Tier 3 stuff. I am some discounts for current members and stuff for you guys. Sure. I'm working on those right now. We'll see what happens with those pretty quick here. I'm going to get through removing the Tier 1 and Tier 2 new member access, so nobody else can join those 2 tiers here in the next day or two. And then we're going to do a real big push with Tier 3, and then along the way we'll get a discount there. Maybe some giveaways and stuff as well for Tier 3. So, yeah. Let me see here. All right, so let me go ahead and jump on here, guys. Let me get on with what I'm doing. This is kind of where we're at. Daily. Possible advance through the RSI. But the yesterday closed below it. So if we could see continued decline today, it's very likely that we could have price here pull back below, and so it doesn't actually break through. Remember, this is showing a breakthrough right now, but the daily has not closed yet. So you have to pay attention to that. Stoke RSI is bullish here at about 61.5 or so, but not too far off from that overbought area. It's also right around this area previously where we've had the turndowns happen. So the first one on the daily, when it came up out of oversold and hit the same kind of level, was the top up here, and then we've had this decline since, which is part of the second one here, which had the large decline there. So don't think that it has to go up and overbought at this point, because the previous 2 times around this same area, as you can see here, is where it's reversed off and sent price down. Get down there. There we go. Sent price down pretty good. The first time here from about 12.5 to 11,125. So quite a bit of movement there. Second time here from 12,056 or so down here to 9,800. So not saying it's going to happen again, but I'm just trying to keep you all from being emotionally bullish. Pay attention to the things that are going on there. Don't lie to yourselves and trick yourselves into thinking something must necessarily happen. All right? Pay attention to what's happened in the past. It doesn't guarantee that it will repeat in the future. But it's at least something that says, listen, I should at least be cautious at this area here when you're looking at it. By the way, we're doing a TD7 here on the daily. Not that it's any real big deal at the moment. If price happened to, I don't know, drop back down here and you get a TD9 right here against the S1 pivot, I don't know, maybe give you a little bit more support for potential reversal on that daily. But yeah, as far as the weekly goes, guys, we're only 3 days into the weekly now, so don't worry a whole lot about that at the moment. Wait till the weekly starts getting toward an end there, Saturday or so, and then start looking at it and seeing where it's at and how it might play out. We've got stuff going on this week on a more macro picture that might affect things. We've got, I think we've got the Fed. I think it's their last announcement prior to the election or something like that. I have to go check this out again. But we do, I think, have a Fed announcement this week, I think. We've got witching this week as well, which should create some volatility in stocks, which is probably what we're seeing right now. We've just got a lot of things that could produce some volatility here over this next week or so. So just be careful with that, and in all your markets here. Because here's the thing, if we jump on over here to the DXY, you can see here that we got this bounce. Let's see. We got this bounce right here, right above the S1 on the 1 hour here, through the descending wedge-ish thing here. It popped up above the pivot, starting to drop back below here. It hasn't quite got above the pivot itself, but it did bounce from this 15-minute S1 and 1 hour S1 pivot area, this confluence area here, right off, right above this descending channel EQ right here. So, it's still kind of bullish in that price continues to remain above the EQ of the channel. This is the large channel that goes back from the high coming down since this decline after March. As far as what kind of count we're, again, coming off the bullish divergence here on the 1 hour, we've still got room to go on RSI. Stoke RSI didn't actually hit over, didn't top out, so maybe it just pulls back and heads higher. Right now, I'm kind of looking at this as a 1 up and then a flat going on here. So A and then B up here and then C potentially playing out here. The other possibility, excuse me, because we've only come down here to the 50% retracement. There is a possibility this could be an ABC for an A, and this could be an A, and then maybe somehow a B here, and then a C for B, and then you have a C. So, especially with the Fed having to say something later or something, this could take some time to kind of play out here as a larger kind of, maybe a B, and then a C like this as a wave 2 before heading up. So, we just got to wait and see how it continues to play out right here. But as you see, man, this move up here sent Euro USD, of course, tumbling. Sent up USD CAD, did some good things for, USD versus others Forex there. And then made some movements with some precious metals and stuff there. So, you definitely want to continue to keep an eye on the DXY to see what it's doing here. Again, still the bottom's confirmed if the count is correct, but there's always the possibility the count may not be correct. So what we really want to see is this advance. The easiest way to say is this descending channel here. Let me zoom out here, but you can see what channel I'm talking about. This big channel right here. And so what we're looking for is an advance through that channel resistance. If we can get that, that makes it significantly more likely that the bottom is actually in. Until then, I'm still going to be kind of iffy. The daily, we're still, this has still been my issue. It didn't actually reset. But, again, maybe that's a product of what's going on, because the dollar was so bearish. They were so offsides with dollar bears that maybe, that's why this continues to just ride high here as price maybe changes itself up here. From a pivot standpoint, this is still bullish. You came in between the pivot and the S1, pushed up impulsively through the pivot, rejected the R1, come back down, retesting the pivot as support. So if you can, reverse somewhere out of this area and up through it, there's no reason you shouldn't be looking at that R2 pivot minimum next. And that R2 minimum, that pivot there, that'll likely take price out of that descending channel. So that's kind of the way I'm watching it here, with everything that's kind of going on at the moment. Not too overly concerned with the local wave counts here. Just really trying to look for that move above that area there and kind of get it going there. Hey there, Devin. Good to see you. Let's see here. Daddy OJ says this MicroStrategy thing is really interesting. From research, the founder is a really intelligent guy and has called trends before. Well, yeah, but also remember MicroStrategy guys, they were the ones that were flying high at the top of the dot-com bubble, and then they were one of the worst hit when it popped. And I'll be honest with you, so the thing is right now that they've bought up to, was it $435 million worth of Bitcoin? Before you get all excited and go, oh my God, somebody's bought 435 million Bitcoin, dollars of Bitcoin. Remember, somebody else had to sell that too. So it's not like there's just this demand and nobody's selling to them. So somebody had to sell. So, are they really that smart or not? I don't know. Here's what I find concerning about it. They're this large company. Their software's mediocre, right? And here they'll go all of a sudden saying, oh, well, we're going to make Bitcoin our reserve asset. So right now, they've paid on average about $11,111 per Bitcoin. Let me see. They had like 35,820, I think, Bitcoin. Is that what it was? Let me see here real quick. I think they had 35,820, and they've paid 11,111. Nope, more than that. Let's see here. I don't know if that's how many it was. Oh, yeah, there it is. 38,250, 11,101. Well, no, it's basically per Bitcoin, which means right now at a Bitcoin price of 10,781, they're down, what is that, 8, 9, 10, 11, 430 or $40 a Bitcoin. That puts them down about $15 million right now. Now, that's fine if Bitcoin continues to rise in price. But what if it doesn't? What if they thought, just like y'all, like retail generally think, what if they thought this was all bullish, everything was bullish, it was going on to higher highs, and instead it goes down toward 2,000? How long do they hold? Do they suddenly say, you know what, we can't do this, we screwed up, we need to get out now? And they start dumping. They start dumping 38,000 Bitcoin on the market. That's a lot of supply to come in on top of whatever might already be coming in as price goes down. I mean, let's say minimally it gets down to 9,100, small time target here that we're kind of looking at, right? 9,100 is $2,000 less than what they averaged on their buy there. That puts them down 76.5 million. What goes on there? Do they sell? Are they going to continue to hold? Again, if they hold, how long are they going to hold? What kind of position does it put them in as a company? When it drops off that significantly, what happens to their share price? They're a publicly traded company. What happens to their share price when it drops down like that? Do people start abandoning ship? Dropping them even lower? Do they go out of business? If they go out of business, there we go. Large sell of Bitcoin again. Now, they don't have to sell it on the markets or anything. They don't have to. But, we don't know if they will or not. If the whole market's selling off, are they going to be able to find a buyer for 38,000 Bitcoin? I don't know. they might be forced to hire one of these companies that sells it off in lots, on the exchanges. Adds all that supply pressure to price. What if their whole goal in doing this is to get you all excited and to get the market to potentially push it up a few $1,000s so they can make 75 or 100 million, and then they go and sell it? It was just a marketing stunt to make some money short term there, because they're facing significant competition, from others for their software, the same type of software. I mean, it's odd that a company like this would go in and put, upwards of 400 million of their funds here in this reserve asset. Because I'm telling you what, if I'm right and deflation's coming, I don't think they're holding. I think they go, oh God, we took a risk here and we got screwed. We need to get the heck out of this. And so, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't see why, as a public company, you would make your reserve assets something that is so volatile. That is so volatile. It really just doesn't make sense. Even if the DXY is to continue to decrease in value, it's going to decrease at a much slower rate than Bitcoin is going to potentially drop, if it were to drop and pull back with the volatility there. It seems odd that they would put so much into it and say, oh, it's our reserve currency now and whatnot. Again, maybe I'm wrong, but it just doesn't smell right to me. Are they trying to, somebody in Discord had an idea. Maybe they're just trying to do this to get it to pump up so they can kind of, increase the value of their company, so they can exercise options and whatnot because they smell that the stock market may be at a top. And they're trying to, maximize their stock options there before it gets out. I don't know. There's so many things that could be happening. But it is odd that a publicly held company would put so much, and they're not a Bitcoin company. They're a software company. And that they would put so much of what they have into something so speculative and so volatile as Bitcoin. Like I said, if Bitcoin price goes up, they're okay. If it doesn't, though, what happens? And how does that affect the rest of the market then? Let me see here. Hank says he wants us to know that he is now officially on the fence regarding the DXY. Still favor, let me see here. Still favor the downside, but by a minute margin, a minute margin. I had to actually read what you're writing instead of reading it as I was saying it. Let me see here. Daddy-O says, I saw a quant tweet from FTX that there's data to back up that price tends to gravitate back towards, the $8,500 range. Don't quote me on this, but you get the idea. Yeah, price, always pushes and pulls back. Because people in general, if you're a normal, healthy, mentally person, you tend to, there's an average of where you tend to run, emotion-wise. And so you get these really ecstatic, euphoric moments, but they don't last. They always tend to come back down. Or you get a really sad moment and they tend to come back up to that average. And so when you look and go, well, price tends to revert to the mean, yeah. It would make sense because price is just a product of emotion. Emotions are what are dictating where price is going overall. This large market emotional plays back and forth between all the market participants. So it would make sense that that price would revert to some kind of mean. So mean reversion is not a terrible way to look at price action. Yeah, no, not at all. Let me see here. So Hank believes that unless MicroStrategies is run by idiots, they will have their holdings hedged. I don't know, man. Again, we just look at human nature and then where we are, societally right now and things that are going on. Again, if you look at all the civil unrest going on, man, in the U.S., guys, we still are having protests and riots and whatnot. This has been like a whole year thing here. This is getting ridiculous. But you look at that, and then you look at the market where it's at, and the increase in inequality that's happened due to the markets, the QE, and everything. The human nature is to look for the easy way out of things. So you look at all that. I don't know. Maybe I don't know about idiots, but maybe run by people who are just looking for the easy way out. But again, I haven't delved in a whole lot on this. I just saw the thing this morning, and some of the people were talking about it in Discord. So I just kind of, thinking out a little bit, looking at, what's going on there. But it doesn't make sense for a company that's not a Bitcoin company or investment company to put so much money into, to say their treasury reserves are in Bitcoin now. How does that potentially affect any loans they might have and things? Assets is collateral, right? If the price goes down, do their loans get called? What do they do then? Maybe they have to sell some Bitcoin to pay off loan calls that they're getting because their collateral is dropping too much. So again, there's a lot of moving parts potentially in there, whatever, but just overall, the company they are and what they're doing just doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense. So I'm real skeptical about it. I'm definitely not overtly bullish on what they're doing. It would be concerning to me if I was a shareholder in their company, for sure. Man, look at that 1 hour candle there. Look at that. It closed at 10.784.23. Opened at 10.785.23. So it closed $1 lower than what it opened, even though there's a pretty good spread off that coming in there. So potentially just boom, one more, and then further down here we'll see as it does. So let me see here. So we've got that. If I look at a point and figure chart here for Ethereum, based on that point and figure there, if we get a decline below this swing low here at about 330, it suggests two targets, 240 and 180. So kind of that area is where it's kind of suggesting that price should head to if we drop down below that 330 area. So, if you're watching Ethereum, you might want to keep that in notice. Something we had talked about previously was the fact that you've basically got this level here that price kind of went up and hit. It's kind of sitting at the moment here, but if it gets rejected off there, basically it creates this resistance here, which, is resistance and then support right here, and then drops back down, gets rechecked as resistance, and falls back off again. So again, something to keep in mind, further targets down. By the way, those kind of align with this 61.8 is about 243. So that's right around that 240 target. And then the 78.6 is 177. It's right around that 180 target. Here based off, of course, on the point and figure chart here. So, the targets aren't really surprising at all. They would suggest this would be a wave 2, a large wave 2 coming back. And if you do that, I don't know, maybe this is, is a 1, and then you got an A, B, C here is a 2, and then 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gives you a 3, 4, and then a 5 there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, basically. Somehow getting that 5 out of there. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4 here, and a 5 maybe up here. Hard to tell on the smaller time frame movements there, but again, it would just give you generally expected wave 2 pullbacks. If we say that Bitcoin will pull back the same amount, the same percentage there, from its 12,500 high there, that gets you down there around that 5,600, 6,100 kind of area. It probably won't go as far back because Ethereum's been outperforming. So if Ethereum pulls back, it'll probably underperform on the pullback there. So it'll probably pull back further. But still, it kind of gives a little credence to the idea that maybe, we've got a further pullback with Bitcoin than what people are, expecting at the moment. Just as a wave 2, maybe even as just as wave 2 pullback toward the 6,000 maybe area, something like that. So we'll see. But right now, I mean, if it does decline through that 330 area, 330 there, from here, if it turns around this next one and comes down from here, that should lead you down there around that kind of area right now. So yeah. Let me see here. Euro USD. If Euro gets a decline down here below 1.183, that suggests a potential target of 1.7 down here on this point and figure chart. So, and that just kind of takes you right down here to these lows over here. But again, if the DXY is bottomed, and we are bullish now, this is the mirror image of it. And so as the DXY rises, you'll expect the euro to drop against the USD. But yeah, doing a double bottom breakdown here would set up potentially this target down here. Let's see. Again, looking at this Bitcoin through the CME, it's a different market, same product, different market. Again, we're looking at contracts, paper versus actual hard assets. And what you can look at here is this is the key area right here. Again, you've got this gap up, and then you've got all this sideways, and then just tanks down through it. And then you move up into this gap up area here, and it's getting rejected. So this seems like a pretty significant area here, something we've been pointing out. Let me go ahead and get rid of this yellow box here. As you can see here, this demand structure is still within that right there, what we were watching off that. Really, I think you've got to get through all this. I think you've really got to get up here if you want to, up above 11,200 to really kind of potentially set some higher highs in motion. If you can't do that, I think, you're getting rejected here and you're heading down lower, depending on how you want to look at it there. Let me see here. Is it possible that the E-minis are actually bullish right now? Well, anything's possible. Let me see here. What's going on, Clark, man? Good to see you checking in, man. Oh, let me see. Here we go. So current count looking like this at the moment. We're getting rejected at the 38.2 of this trend of this trend down from the all-time high there. We're kind of finding resistance at that 38.2. Remember, as I've told you guys, 38.2 and the 61.8 are the most important fib levels. They'll provide the most resistance or most support. And, right now we're kind of getting a rejection there. We'll see if it continues to follow through. 4-hour Stochh RSI is topped out. You're getting, look at this, you're getting this spike of volume here in this candle, which is nothing more than a tiny little doji compared to the previous candle. So again, a lot more effort and almost no result at all coming out there. So we'll see if we can get some call. I would look for some follow through to the downside here. The price could push up a little bit higher. The R1 pivot sits there around 34.15. Get you right up into this supply structure here. As long as it doesn't advance above this swing high up here at 34.24 and 25 cents, the count remains valid. There's also the possibility you could have a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this is working on a 5 coming down here. Just a couple of different ways to kind of look at what's going on there. But for right now, this seems to be the most probable count at the moment. Yeah, I'm sure you can probably find some finagled, WXY or WXYXZ right here to get you like maybe this is a 3 and this is a 4 and then get you a 5 up. I mean, and there's nothing wrong with this being a wave 2 potentially here. There is an ABC going on there, or it does appear to be an ABC. I don't know. Maybe there's something to say here where this is a 1 all the way down here, and this is an ABC, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll have a bit movement up there as just an expanded flat here. That's possible as well. And if it does that, if it goes up above this swing high here, and gets above the 50%, we normally look at the 61.8 as the first target, but I think we'd probably get closer around the 70.5 up here in this higher volume node territory. Right here, this activity, I think we kind of hit that area and then kind of come back. If we decline below this, basically 23.6 here, right below this high volume node, 33.64 and 25, I think that kind of seals the deal and says we're headed lower. So right now, it's just watching what's coming on here. I don't think there's any way you look at this right now and say, oh, it's definitely, wave 3, wave 4, and we're wave 5 coming up or something like that. There's a lot of overlap. It tends to look more corrective here right now than anything else. So we'll continue to watch it, but locally that volume and little, insignificant results so far, should be concerning for bulls. Because again, exerting much more effort, over twice as much effort, and getting very little comparable result to that. But we still got 48.5 minutes left or so on the 4-hour candle, so anything can happen. You got to wait till that closes to see it. Hey there, Corn Maximus. Good to see you. Oh, you were talking more long-term bullishness a few months down the road? I think if this thing's declining for a few months, it's probably this is, the top we've been looking for idea. If this thing's declining for a few months, I think it takes us way down here pretty close. This decline off the tops here so far, large candle spreads, small candle spreads on the move up here right now. Bigger picture, bounced off the S1. If we get rejected, the pivot should head lower. What is it, mid-September right now? I mean, a few months off, I can see some stronger declines coming in as people start resigning themselves to the fact that maybe this is the top. Sharper sell-offs coming in, further lows. Yeah, I don't know. I think if we're still declining after a few months, I think, we head lower and lower and lower. I think it's part of a bigger correction. Yeah, I checked the DXY already. You have to rewind back and look at it there. Let me see here. Other things we can look at here real quick. We'll look at the cubes in a minute. Sure, we can do that. Let's see here. We've got oil right here. Oil doing oil things. Again, big decline off here, but still above that wave 4 swing low. Locally, this wave 5 may be done here, or it may be done here. We'll have to see what's going on here. Kind of looking at maybe a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this being a 1, 2 maybe here. As we kind of, 3, 4, 5 kind of come out maybe as an ending diagonal or something. We'll see. I think it's got a little bit. I think it's going to break out of this range here. So, the first initial target would be like that 39.20-ish kind of area right there at the R1 pivot on the 4-hour. And then we'll see from there, see if it doesn't get rejected from this general area and back down. If we're pushing back up above, this wave 4 swing high here at 39.46, I think that kind of says this is wave 5 done, and we're on our way to an A, and then we'll have B, and then we'll have C, and then we'll have further down. So, yeah. Let me see here. Looking back here at the cubes. Let's see here. Weekly. Let's see here. The weekly, of course, showed this bearish engulfing candle there, but really as a doji. See this large gap here. Looks like price is trying to fill in this gap, maybe. So we could see it potentially getting as high up there as around 303.50, maybe. And then potentially turning off from there and heading down. 3 days finding some support on the S1. So a break above the pivot means that then we go test the high, potentially. But, you need a break above the pivot to kind of suggest that's in play. Otherwise, you can potentially just get rejected at pivot and drop on back down there. Let me see here. Notice we had a 9 on the 3-day here. Very top, a TD9 there. Let me see here. Let me see what's going on the monthly real quick here. Oh, that's just a 6 on the monthly. Okay. Again, nothing really changing here. Your daily, a little bit of bullish divergence here, resulting in this move up, trying to gap itself up a bit. But really just kind of finding support on the S1. And, that's usually what you expect. We came in between the pivot and the R1, thrust it up there, rejected prior to the R1, drops pretty hard down through the pivot, through the R1, finds support around that, pushes back up. And so now we need to see, does it get rejected the pivot? If it gets rejected pivot and comes back down, any decline through that S1 should likely set up a move down here toward the S2 minimum. But if we can get above the pivot, again, as I showed you on the other time frame there, we look for a possible move up here toward the highs again. Let me see here. What else do we got? Got natural gas here. Again, natural gas may or may not, some I've mentioned already, may or may not be done at this low here. I'm probably going to be closer to saying it's done if we're pushing above this swing high here at $2.39.9. But really want to see it get above this swing high right here at $2.42.9 to kind of say, okay, yeah, wave 4 is probably completed here. If it reverses, if it reverses right here at the pivot, heads on back down, still looking at minimally to get down here around that $2.17 range right there. Wave 5 target's still up here right now around the $2.87 to $3.01 kind of area. So depending on where this is as a 4, we'll get a better idea of where 5 may be up there within that. But definitely an advance above this wave X termination point here, this wave E of wave X at $2.573 there. If we can get above that, that should confirm that this bottom's done here and we're headed up. Let me see here. If gold is potentially going up because of the triangle that may be formed, wouldn't the DXY give proof of it? You'd think so, yeah. But, things aren't correlated exactly, guys. Though, again, if you're looking at gold, I'll pull this up right now. You should get a similar opposite kind of thing going on with the DXY. So this is what we're kind of looking at. I've got my preferred count there in white, which basically says, okay, we did a 1, 2, 1, 2, potentially a 1, 2 here. But, in looking at that, it is possible we've got an A, B, C, D, E. Now, if price drops below this wave E swing low here, 19.11 and 80 cents, that'll invalidate this as a triangle here. So that'll just leave basically what I'm already looking at. If price advances above this wave 2 here, it's not necessarily bullish. All it means is this local area, this local count here is incomplete here. It's invalidated, but the wave 2 is incomplete. So maybe we have, I don't know, I've got this as an A, B, C up here, but maybe you have an A and then a B and then a C coming up. Though that would be pretty deep, so I don't think we'd really have that kind of flat working out, but, potentially something maybe setting up there. How else could we look at that? We could potentially look at this as, okay, maybe we could look at this as an A down and then A, B, C, D, and this working as an E here. So this gives us an A, this gives us a B, and then we've got a C lower. In that case, price cannot rise above the swing high over here. It has to stay below $2,001.20. If it goes above that, the idea that this is an A and this is a B triangle and this is a C down is invalidated. So, I mean, there's a couple of different things that could be going on there. It really is just this holding pattern at the moment. But it does appear to be consolidating there. If this is the triangle as it is here, I would, that means that this is the last move before the final move up, which means you only have a final move up, which means you're probably looking at around, let me see here, from AV there, you're only maybe looking up there around 21, 27 or so to finish it out, which isn't a whole lot higher than what you had here. That's about $100 up or so. Oh, not $100, I'm sorry. It's up about 27, 30, $40 or so above this swing high, maybe 35, $40. But you have to remember, triangles are the next to the last move. That's why they come in waves 4, B's, X's. So just something to pay attention to there if it does happen to go up, because this is if this is a triangle here. I'm not convinced yet, so we'll see. We need to see some follow through. It's not been exceptionally bullish or impulsive movement yet, but that could change. That could change. Right now, if you're bullish, we bounced off the pivot, hit the R1 as expected, pulling back, and what you'd want to see is continuation up through it, which brings up now the R2 pivot then at about $2,008. I think I would become more bullish as far as one more leg up maybe if we're getting above this wave 2 swing high up here. I think that would make me start leaning that way a bit more, but it definitely doesn't guarantee anything there. And then so that's $2,024.60 on that high there. Because even if you do that, this could still just be one and then, God, I don't know, maybe A, B, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As an ending diagonal, and you just have this real large wave 2 playing out. So, there's a lot to, a lot of possibilities going in this because we have all this sideways, guys. It's been going sideways. It's the 15th now. It's been going sideways since around the 11th of August, so over a month. So we just have to see how does this resolve itself here. So we look at the different possibilities there, which I just discussed. Multiple ones, bullish and potentially bearish as it goes through there. We've got silver, similar, but not so much. I guess you could potentially look at this as a triangle. You'd have to look at this as an A, and then B, and then C, and then maybe D, and then E. We're working itself out with the D and the E here. So the best way to say it is this an A, B, C, triangle working out here is if it drops below this here, this 25,985, that means it can't be that triangle. This can't be an A and a B and a C because you cannot drop below wave C. If this is an A and a B and a C, and then we're working on D here, Well, D can't advance above wave B, which would be this swing high here at 29,235. So that would invalidate it that way. Right now, basically, I've got a 1, 2, and then a 1, and looking at potentially an expanded flat here. Something we continue to talk about. A, B, and then, potentially 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So it gets reject the R1 and then comes back down. If we're dropping below, these swing lows right below that pivot, I think we'll probably end up heading lower lows here, which will take away all those triangle ideas. I think we short term test that swing low at the S1 pivot, but I think we end up going through it there as it does. By the way, potential, I guess you could potentially see this as a double top here. You need a breakdown below, what is this, 26,725? And so then based on the height here of this possible double top, that would get you down there around $25.56. I wouldn't really look at it as a double top. I'm just saying if you want to look at it that way and you need a target based on it, that's how you'd get the target for it. So we'll see here, as it plays out. Again, what you're looking for ultimately in silver and gold is that breakdown below that swing low from the initial drop. So for silver, that means you got to get below this $23.58. You get below that, that definitely opens up much lower downside possibilities on that. Let me see here. If we jump back over here. Yeah, so the other thing I didn't mention here was that we've got this descending resistance here that we seem to have hit again. Now, we've got 3 points on that. So 3 points is actually a trend line. I see a lot of people that have lines with just 2 points on it, and they say it's a trend line. It's not a trend line. It's just a line. 1 point is a point. 2 points is a line. 3 points is a trend. So in this case here, we've got 1, 2, 3 points. I mean, that's a trend. So the advance through that seems that it would be significant on that there. I don't know. Do you say this is a double bottom here? I wouldn't. I don't like the structure of it at all. But again, if you needed this to be a double bottom and you needed to know how do you get a target off that, basically you're going to take your price range tool from the lowest point to the highest point, and then you're going to add that to the highest point there. And even if this is to be a valid double bottom pattern, it is not validated until price rises above this swing high. Until then, it's always just a potential. But you get it behind that gets you a move up there around 94.21, which is just above the R2 pivot, so, that wouldn't be too surprising a place to go. It is possible that this is wave 2 right here, and then this is a 1, 2 on a pullback. This is just another way that I was showing it for Discord today, because I get those updates a couple of times a day with DXY. So if this was an ABC as a 1 and it, or a 2 here, and it finished at the 50% level, this would give us a 1. This would give us a 2 here. I guess it'd probably be like an A and a B, and then a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as a C. But that would give you a minimum wave 3 up here at around 94, and then wave 4 up here around, or wave 3 up there, and then a wave 5 up here around 94.30, which kind of gets you above that double bottom target. So I guess you could make sense on that as far as that goes. Just in case this is, because right now we've got 3 waves down for here, and it did hit the 50. So, I mean, that's an adequate, wave 2. And we had to move up, and we've got what you can get 3 waves down here. So, and it's above that swing low, so it didn't invalidate this. So it is possible, again, this is a 1 and this is a 2. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or, again, as I said, just ABC, ABC, and then 2, 3, 4, 5 here maybe to get that bit of a flat going. So just a couple of ways to look at it. But overall, if you're getting a move above this descending resistance, I think that probably is as a signal. Definitely getting a move above this swing high up here at 93.45 should suggest that you're going higher. Still have to get above this swing high, of course, first at 93.66. But if you're getting above this one, I think it sets up your move up. But again, remember, I also said maybe this is ABC here for A, and this is A, and this is B, and then we'll have C up here for B, and then we'll have 5 down for C. You get this expanded, this extended kind of wave 2 there. So, yeah. So, again, just different ways to look at it. This isn't the, what we usually look at as a descending wedge here because, again, it doesn't have all the alternating points or whatnot, but it's this wedge-ish looking thing. The idea, what I'm trying to get people to see is the consolidation of price down toward this low here before the breakout. When you're looking for how does price reverse, those are things you look for. Does price consolidate? Does price start consolidating there after it's been, coming down for a bit or after it's been going up for a bit? Again, you can look at it right here and kind of see this idea here. And you can say, okay, so we're moving up here and advancing, and then price starts consolidating right here. And that's a good idea. That's a good signal that we'll probably be reversing off that, most likely. So you can just look for your local support there, and then when it drops below that, you could short that. Should be something like that right there. Drops below that, then you'd short it. Not the DXY, you're not trading the DXY, but whatever you happen to be looking at. Same idea here. You've got this resistance coming down here, consolidation. Break out that resistance long. So yeah, just kind of looking at that. Nothing really happened at the moment here. Bitcoin again. Just kind of sitting here doing this thing. Possible kind of diamondish looking thing going on here. You got all these higher highs. You got these lower lows, lower highs, higher lows. So it kind of gives you this diamond looking thing there. Which is just a consolidation pattern. Again, a diamond is just a consolidation pattern. Usually, and most often, the most correct version of a diamond is going to have consolidation at the beginning, and then it expands toward the middle, and then it consolidates again toward the end to give it that pattern. So the more you see of the consolidation at the beginning to the expansion in the middle to the consolidation at the end, the more you can see of that, the more likely it is a diamond pattern. This one isn't looking all that fantastic. It's got a general kind of idea of one, but I wouldn't play it as one. But yeah. Is there a long-term bullish count for gold? The bullish count you have with the triangle would print a slightly higher high, but then down. Yeah. Well, I mean, how far do you think it's going to go? I mean, so when you look at, let me do this a better way, maybe a better way to say it here. Let me get back to gold here real quick. Oh, doggone it, didn't get it there. Let's see here. So at the end of the day, what usually happens, let's see if we can get this out here now. All right, so here's all this larger term count that I have going on here. But here's the thing. At the end of the day, when you have a high and then you do a pullback, the first subwave generally ends around that previous high area. Not all the time, but most of the time. Pretty significantly most of the time, it'll end. So even if there is just a bit higher there, I mean, you could potentially look at this all as wave one here, which I don't think it is. I think, here's the thing I think, guys. If this is not if this is not a 1 with a, an ABC, and then 5 down, so you've got this expanded flat going on, then I think this is a 4 and this is a 5. And so we would just be looking for however high, it's not going to go up to, 4,000 or whatever, more likely than not, continuing up there before, hits 5, and then does the big, correction. I don't think this is a 1, 2, and then this is a 3 or anything. I don't think right now. And one of the things we kind of look at here is this area. This is really triangle-ish here. And so if this is a triangle here, then, we would look at this as a 1, and this triangle would have to be 2, but we know that wave 2s can't be triangles. So that's kind of iffy. Can we get a different count out of it? Oh, I'm sure we can. I guess we'd have to do like a 1, 2 down here, and then a 3, 4 here, and then a 5. And then we'd have 1, 2 here. And then you have to try and get 5 here as well. Again, this looks more like an ABC than it does 5 up. I mean, if you just eyeball it. But I'm sure you could potentially get a, I don't know, maybe a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as a leading diagonal here, maybe. Yeah, and then you can get that higher high off here. And then it'd be an ABC down here. So you've got a 1, 2, 1, 2. And then basically you'd be looking at, maybe like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I give you a 1, 2 there. So I give you a 1, 2, 3, 4 maybe. Let's make sure we get the 1618 on that. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, so that could maybe do it. It's the 1618. So I go 1, 2 maybe, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which would give us a 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're working on a 5 here. I mean, this is the way you would count this if you're looking for a bullish count here. Let me see here. Yeah, it gives us the 1618 up there. The other thing we look at is it's a pretty sharp big drop, so that would be likely to be a wave 4 there. Wave 4 finds support around wave 4, the previous degree, the lesser degree here. Because remember, this is a 3, 4, 5, which makes this a 3, 4, 5 working up. If that's the case, we've got a 1. I think we've got basically a 1 and a 2. And then a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it gives us 3. That would be a 4 as a triangle. And there's your 5. And so, that gives you 5 up then from the bottom here. And so in that case, you're looking for a minimum pullback. Whatever I said the target was, 21, 27 or something like that. Look, okay, so where does it make sense that it pulls back? Does it pull back where we're kind of looking for it to pull back? So we got the 78.6. I mean, I would think we've got some high volume node popping out here, but not it's between the 50 and the 61.8. I think it goes down lower. Your 61.8 to 70.5 are in a pullback area here for the volume. So not a lot of interest in the level. A lot of interest at the 78.6, so 1280. So I could see a move up to 2130 or so, and then a drop back down to 1280. But again, God, that just makes that a 5. When you look at the larger term cycles of gold, I mean, we should be about there with done if we're not. And so again, that would be 5. So you're looking for a much larger pullback then, if that's the case. Still coming back down toward this area overall, if not lower. So I mean, either way you're looking at it, I don't think it goes from here to 3,000, 4,000 right off. I don't think it does. No Name, you're welcome. Crypto Girl, as always, thank you so much. All right, Hank, I'll check that out here in a minute. I'm going to get going here in a minute, and then I'll give you some comments on that there on Twitter to take a look at that. But I mean, if we're kind of looking at that, I mean, especially if you're kind of really zooming out here, I mean, this is what you're looking at, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, that's what you're looking at. It's a few years after Bretton Woods here. Yeah, I don't see that you're necessary. Everybody's talking. This is what I talk about. Where everybody's all very bullish and whatnot, euphoric and whatnot, because they're talking about gold. $4,000, $5,000, $8,000. I've seen guys saying $8,000 from here, but that doesn't make a lot of sense. If you're doing that. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, there's possibilities. There's always possibilities as you're looking at it. But even here, Hank's suggesting 3 month, but even here at the monthly, you can see we're pretty well overbought on Stochk RSI and RSI there. If we continue with the 3 month, 3 month large bearish divergence here. Spikes of volume up here at the top as we're nearing the top here. We've just about run all the pivots there. Now I've said before I could see a possible push up to 2,300. It looks like 2,300 is actually it's actually the R5 pivot on the 3 month. So 2130 or so based on the height of the triangle, but that's always a minimum. Doesn't have to end there. So again, as I've said before, 2,300 is a possibility if we were to continue up. So that would take you right there around that R5. You run the pivots there. But if you're doing that, you minimum should expect to get back to this 1,300 area here where this high volume node is. Minimum. So, yeah, I mean, again, large bearish divergence here on the 3 month. Yeah, so I mean, that's kind of where we're at with that. It could potentially go a bit higher, but overall, even if it does, again, just not seeing 3, 4, 6, 8,000 from here or anything. I'm seeing that it needs a big retracement down here toward, if this is 5 here, then toward this 1,300 minimal to that high volume node there. And as we can see, that kind of takes you around that 78, again, that 78.6 retracement off this wave here. But that, that would be minimum. Remember, guys, I know people out there trying to tell you that gold's this inflation, this hedge against inflation or uncertainty, blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, guys, people buy it because they expect to either make money with it or to save money with it, but nonetheless, it's an investment. And so when things change, people are going to get out of investments. Of course, most of the gold right now is paper, so there's that as well. The futures contracts and whatnot. There's all these arguments and whatnot about JPM, majorly manipulating them and everything. And possibilities, of course, with all that. But I guess what I'm just trying to say, guys, is if you're looking at gold to be some definitive protection, I think that's the wrong way to look at it. Because if it's not, you end up putting yourself in a really bad situation. Yeah, if Peter Schiff, man, if it goes to 1,300 or below, because, again, imagine buying up here at basically 1,900 here in 2011, and then you had to wait 9 years for it to get just slightly higher, basically 10% higher, and then it drops back down there again before it potentially pushes up again. I mean, it's tough. That's tough, right? Most people don't want to do that. So, it is what it is, guys. Just don't get pulled into a lot of the nonsense that goes on, with everybody through the times there, guys. It's, oh man. But anyway, yeah. So that's kind of where we're looking at the moment here. Now, ultimately the lower targets are still the lower target line or a run up. If it does, a little bit higher up, but still looking at most likely it's got to come down toward that $1,000 area. Same thing could definitely happen to crypto, guys. It's a lot of y'all come in here because you want things to be really successful and you want Bitcoin to go up really fast, really hard like it did in 2017, and it may. But you have to be realistic about it as well, guys. And, if you're realistic, you look at it, you got to be cautious. You absolutely have to. There's too much, I think, that a lot of new traders are not thinking about when they're getting involved, not just in crypto. I mean, especially within crypto, because I know a lot of y'all come in here are, really interested just in crypto. But at the end of the day, guys, you have to understand what's going on in these macro events because Bitcoin is not sitting in a vacuum. Bitcoin does not trade alone, devoid of anything else that's going on in the world. And so all these, these big people that are getting involved, you get all excited about it. The problem is if the rest of the world goes to hell in a handbasket, to them, Bitcoin really is just another, asset that they're trying to make money on. And if they need to get rid of something, they're going to get rid of Bitcoin. They're going to sell it, especially if they're in profit. Lock in those profits and then use that money to do whatever they're not getting done with stocks or whatever kind of real estate or whatever kind of holdings they may have that are taking a hit because the economy, goes terrible. If it does. So, just keep that in mind, guys. I don't want you out there just kind of throw your money in like it's nothing, like you don't have anything to worry about. Especially in crypto. Don't get sidetracked by everybody out there that says, oh, it's got to go up. It's guaranteed to go up. It's never going to go down. It's always going to go up. It's, just, guess what? They do halving every few years. And so it's less supply, less new supply coming on the market. So it has to go up. This is the argument I've seen lately. No, it doesn't. If there's not comparable demand there, guess what? It doesn't matter how much you're jumping off supply. If you have more supply than demand, price goes down. Price goes down, guys. This is as basic economics as you can get. I don't care if you've just taken intro to micro and macroeconomics in college or high school, or if you've taken or if you've taken econometrics as a graduate student. At the end of the day, price is going to drop if there's more supply than demand in the market. Because there's less people, there's a lot more of that supply out there, so people don't have to argue over it. They don't have to fight for it. You get the higher prices because you got more than one person going after the same thing. So this guy might be willing to pay 15. Well, here comes somebody who might be willing to pay 20. Somebody else comes in, they're willing to pay 25. Guess what? Nobody else is willing to pay 25. Guess who gets it? And that thing at that time, at the moment of transfer, is worth $25. The next second, maybe not. Because once he buys it, he may not be able to find anybody that's willing to pay over $20 for it. Price is always relative to the time frame. It's always, price is always price at the time of transaction. After the transaction, a thing is not worth what you paid for it. You ever bought a car? Everybody's like, oh yeah, you drive it off the lot and you lose 30%. No, you sign the papers and you lose 30%. Because they can't sell it as new anymore. It's automatically a used car. Even if there's no miles on it, you haven't sat in it. You just sign the papers. It's been sold. So just because you pay a price for a thing does not mean it has that value, guys. Value is always determining at the time that they agree. And only as long as that agreement sits. So they agree, they trade. At that point, it's worth whatever the person holding it now and the next person willing to buy it can agree on. And that might be more, that may be less. Now, if if demand continues to increase and new supply is decreased, then there's a greater chance that price is going to continue rising. Still not a guarantee, though, because that demand has to be there at the time supply comes in. You could overall have a big, demand in it, but if at the time when a whole bunch of supply comes into the market, the demand is not up there, well, price is going to tank at that time until it hits a level that demand is more than that supply. You guys absolutely have to understand this. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise here with the market. The goal is to make money, not to lose it, right? So, anyway, guys, there you go. I'm going to get out of here. That'll do it. As always, we'd absolutely love to have you join us over here at howtotradetowin.com. Like I said, tomorrow or Thursday will be the last day. One of those will be the last day that you can actually purchase a Tier 1 or a Tier 2 membership. You'll still be able to purchase a Tier 3, but not the... So we're going to monitor how many new people we have coming in, and we'll cut off Tier 3 memberships here as well. And then kind of just we've had so many people coming in new. And then we'll just kind of deal with everybody we have in there. And if we can, at some later point, we'll open up Tier 3 memberships again and kind of move like that. So might or might not be getting here the last time you can get in for a while. So we'd love to have you in there if you guys want to join us, all right? I really appreciate you guys having you here, as always. Don't forget, I'll be back tomorrow, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. We'll talk about Bitcoin, maybe the DXY. It's a Wednesday show. Also, another reminder, guys, next week, I will just be doing the live streams here on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, okay? No more Tuesdays. So just a heads up on that in case you haven't been paying attention to that. So that'll do it, guys. Remember, the only thing you control in the market is how much you lose. So everything else,